What's up guys, I'm back here in the garage. So in this video, I'm going to tackle probably the biggest project I could possibly do in this garage, and that is painting the walls. Now, as you can see, there's a ton of stuff in here. This place is a mess. I've been going through a lot of this stuff that's just old things that I need to get rid of, slowly chipping away at that, but there's a lot to do. So my first goal is to prep the walls for paint, basically taking everything out that's screwed in. There's a bunch of hooks, there's a bunch of screws, cleaning the walls, filling all the holes, get it ready for paint. The problem is, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? First order of business, I'm gonna find a place for my car on the street. That'll give me some room so I could store stuff in the middle of the garage here. So I'm gonna do that right now. Check back in with you guys tonight and start the process. As you can see, there's no car there. So first order of business is to organize all this stuff into neat piles. I guess I better get to work. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I definitely had a oh shit, what have I got myself into moment, but gotta keep going. Everything's off the walls, everything's off the shelves. I took off all the screws, hooks, and consolidated everything into the middle of the garage. That was exhausting. But I'm not done yet. I'm gonna go ahead and patch up the walls, show you what I got here. Okay, so I was able to find some spackle and a sanding block. Use this as a putty knife to go ahead and patch up the holes. I'm gonna cover any dark spots with this paint and primer. I got some water and a rag to wipe down the walls, get all the dirt off of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping these walls for paint. I'm not gonna bore you with that, so I'll see you tomorrow. So it's the next day. I woke up early this morning. I wiped all the walls down, pushed the shelves off the wall over here. Still got a big mess here, but at least there's enough room to get by. Down here, I got the essentials. I got my rollers and pan, got my paint, in this case, primer, which is good enough. And I got my extension to reach the ceiling. And of course, got some beer and my headphones. About to get started on this. Man, can't wait till this is done. So I just finished up this little section right here and a piece of the ceiling over here. That all took me about 1 beer, so I'm thinking I'm gonna need at least 2 or 3 more beers. So one thing I noticed is that the primer's going on kind of thin. I may need to do a second coat. I'm not exactly thrilled about that. If I gotta do it, I gotta do it. But you can already see that it looks a lot better than that. Old, boo, new, yeah. So I'm gonna grab a couple more beers. This is gonna take a while. All right guys, so this is day 2 of paint. The first night I went ahead and painted about half of the space. Tonight I painted the other half and got a second coat in the workspace area. I figure that's gonna allow me to move stuff back into this space while I go pick up some more paint to finish the second coat on the rest of the walls and the ceiling. I'm all out of my 2-gallon bucket here, so I'm gonna call it a night. Hey, what's up guys? I'm back in the garage. In my last video, I said that I was working from home, luckily. Well, my luck ran out and I am on a 90-day furlough. Essentially, I'm laid off for about 90 days. And so hopefully I'm getting my job back at the end of that time. It's all kind of up in the air. Fingers crossed, but at the same time, I gotta make sure that I'm in a position where I am good to go as soon as this coronavirus thing is over. That doesn't stop me from completing my projects. Here we are back in the garage. Let me show you the progress I've made. Here's my workspace. So as you can see, everything's painted. I went ahead and rearranged some of the shelving and my toolbox. Now initially I would want a workbench on this side, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is probably the best place for it. I'm gonna replace this with a new workbench, which I'm still probably gonna do, but with the whole layoff thing, I'm just gonna hold off on that and just keep that in the meantime. It'll serve its purpose, and I think it's a good size for that area. Having the toolbox over here was nice, kind of easy to get to for the most part, but the toolbox is kind of deep so that it actually came out a little further than this shelf. The shelf is a little slimmer and I kind of like it there because I have a wider workbench over here. So that'll give me a little bit more space in this area. This is gonna be my detail shelf. It's gonna hold all my detailing products and equipment. So it's all in one place. This is gonna be kind of like a miscellaneous shelf. It'll hold tools, parts, projects I'm working on. So back in this corner, I have my 12-foot canopy, and then I have my wheel ramps. There's enough space to be able to pull those out and access them, and these shelves aren't too close together that they're like blocking each other, so it kind of works out. I think this is the best setup. I did have to take this light down, put that right back to where it was, and for the workbench, I'm thinking I'm gonna take this shelf, put it up there, something like that, if you can see that. Oh my gosh, I'm straining. Okay, so as I was saying, I think I'm gonna have this mounted here, just like so. That'll give me space to work. Some additional space up here. And then I'm thinking about getting another light fixture, something smaller to mount under here to give me some light onto the workbench. But first things first, I'm gonna get this light back up on the ceiling. I'm gonna have to run my extension cord from that outlet, which is the only outlet in here, up and around here, up here. I'm gonna have it come down here. So quick tip using these little cable wall holders, which are these right here. They have these little nails in there, punch them all the way in. It only sticks into the drywall about 1/2 inch. That's fine if it's on the wall like this, but with the cable up top, there's a chance that the weight of the cable might pull these out. And so my workaround for this was to put a screw through it. Now the problem with that is that the hole for the nail is tiny. When you screw the screw right through that little hole, by the time you get to the end of it, the whole thing starts spinning. So to counter that, I went ahead and took the appropriate size drill bit, and I went ahead and drilled out the hole. So that way with the screw within here, you can spin it and it spins freely. It stays in place while you're screwing it into the wall. So there you go, just a quick tip. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of that up on this wall, run it all the way to there. All right, so that looks good. There was a little bit of slack in the line here. So what I did was I just pulled it tight and then put a little zip tie at the end of there. It won't allow the cord to go slack again. I'm gonna go ahead and put this shelf up now. I can't find my tape measure, so I'm gonna measure the length of this from the ceiling to the wall and on each side. Hopefully that'll get me level. So there it is, my workbench has a shelf. Now, from here, it doesn't look level, but that is actually level. What's not level is the concrete. I think it slopes back just a little bit. So I might put like a little riser on that side so it would be exactly level. You know, honestly, it doesn't bother me too much, but who knows, I might do that. All right, there it is. I got the light installed, got my workbench set up, got my shelf, my power strip mounted firmly. Have the wires tucked back here neatly. If you saw my last video, I looped this over here so that I didn't have two color cables, so I wouldn't see that in the middle of the wall. But because the extension isn't long enough, I had to run the fixture cord out to here. So I pretty much did all that other work for nothing. But it was fun. I like how it looks. Ooh, I don't like that. Looks like there was some drywall there that was ripped out, probably to do some repairs and never replace. I'm gonna find a way to cover that up, 'cause that's pretty ugly. It's bad enough I have to look at this thing, but what can you do? At this point, gotta get rid of this large mess behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and tackle that. Hopefully I can get my car pulled in here within the next day or so, we'll see. All right guys, here it is. We've made it to the end of the project and I am very excited to show you guys the workspace. So without further ado, there you have it guys. The walls are painted, everything is back on the shelves, and I'm excited. I'm really stoked. Ever since I moved in, this is exactly how I pictured it to be. When you just accumulate things throughout the years, kind of hard to let that stuff go, but it's about time that I do that, and everything I really need is right here, and that's exactly how it should be. So let me take you through and show you a little bit of what I've done here. So without going into too much detail, I'm just gonna point out to you what I've done. First of all, I'm stoked to have these walls painted white. It looks so much cleaner, so much brighter. Got this light up there, which is awesome. A little bit extra light in here definitely helps. Put my brooms up on the wall, which is nice. They're out of the way. I'm keeping this area clear for the most part. Stoked to have a workbench. Gonna keep that area clear. I'm gonna put a stool right there so I have something to sit on. Gonna put a little light underneath that shelf. Also gonna organize those tool boxes. That's why they're up there. But for the most part, I wanna keep that clear in the future. Stoked to have my toolbox there. This is my detailing shelf. All the stuff I need to detail cars, but definitely need to go through and organize that as well. Miscellaneous shelf, bunch of just, like I said, miscellaneous parts. Some stuff hanging back there, accessible but out of the way, as well as the stuff in the corner right there. This guy is the MVP of the project. If you can, get yourself a Gorilla ladder. Got mine from Home Depot. This thing is super handy. If you watch, if you're at this part of the video, you definitely notice that I use this a ton. Very helpful. So yeah, there it is. My workspace. Super excited about finally finishing this. However, I'm not gonna front. I still got quite a bit of stuff I need to go through. A lot of this stuff I'm getting rid of. A lot of the stuff can be stored inside the house. If I am gonna keep it, a lot of the stuff's gonna be given away. Yeah, so that's my motivation to get the car back in the garage. Within the next couple days, I'm doing that, but we made it, guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions on how I could make it better, definitely leave a comment down below. But yeah, I had a blast doing this. Hope you enjoyed watching. Till next time, I'll see you guys.